All right, this is lesson 15.1, and this week we're going to learn about patterns. For this lesson, you're going to analyze numerical patterns. We're going to be using a chart to help us with that. It says, in the first week of school, Barbara buys 2 movies and 4 songs from iTunes. If she purchases the same number of songs and movies each week for the next 5 weeks, how many songs and movies will she have? Well, let's see. We have 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Okay, so the first week she bought 2 movies. And the first week she also bought 4 songs. So they want to know if the pattern continues by the end of the next 5 weeks. So she already has 1 week, and we're going to do the next 5 weeks. We add 5 more weeks, so that's a total of 6 weeks. All right, so let's see. First, we have to figure out the relationship. If it's 1 week, we know it's 2 movies. But now if it's 2 weeks, how many movies will it have? Well, it says every week is 2 more. So then it's going to be 4 because you're adding 2 more. It says it right there, buys 2 movies if she purchases the same number. So she's going to purchase the same number every week. So I add 2 more movies. In week 3, she's going to have 6 movies. Plus 2 more on week 4, she's going to have 8 movies. I add 2 more on week 5, she's going to have 10 movies. I add 2 more on week 6, she's going to have 12 movies. This is the same thing for songs. It says that 4 songs from iTunes, and she's going to purchase the same amount of movies and songs each week. So if week 1 was 4, I'm going to add 4 more to give me 8. I'm going to add 4 more to give me 12 for the 3 weeks. I'm going to add 4 more to give me 16 for 8 weeks, or for the 4 weeks. I'm going to add 4 more songs to give me 20 songs. I'm going to add 4 more songs to give me 24 songs. So the top one was movies, the bottom one was songs. I added 4 songs every week. So I have a total of 24 songs at the end and 12 movies at the end. The question says, what is the relationship between the number of songs Barbara has to the number of movies? So they're asking about songs to movies. How many songs to movies? So we're going from songs to the movies. Well, if I have 4 songs, I have 2 movies. If I have 8 songs, I have 4 movies. If I have 12 songs, I have 6 movies. If I have 16 songs, I have 8 movies. If I have 20 songs, I have 10 movies. And 24 songs, I have 12. So I'm noticing that if I'm going from songs to movies, my number is getting smaller. And when my number gets smaller, I know I'm either going to divide or subtract. One of the two. Well, let's see. 4 minus what gives you 2? 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay. 8 minus 2, oh, that's not. That pattern has to work for all of them. That relationship. So it can't be subtraction. So we're going to cross that out. 4 divided by what gives you 2? 4 divided by 2 gives you 2. 8 divided by 2 gives you, you're right, 4. 12 divided by 2 gives you 6. 16 divided by 2 gives you 8. 20 divided by 2 gives you 10. And 24 divided by 2 gives you 12. So the relationship from songs to movies is to divide by 2. But what about if you were going the other way And I asked you about movies to songs. So here you're going to go from movies to songs. 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 6 to 12, 8 to 16, 10 to 20, 12 to 24. And we know the opposite of division is multiplication, so that rule would be times 2. It depends on what they ask you. Here they ask you songs. What is the relationship between the number of songs Barbara has to the number of movies, songs to movies? If they ask you movies to songs, then you go the other way. Now it says write out the ordered pairs for movies being X and songs Y. So we know that when we write ordered pairs, the X goes first and then the Y. So they're saying that the movies are the X and that the song is the Y. So here my first ordered pairs are going to be 2, 4. Then I'm going to have this X, which is 4, 8. Then I'm going to have this X, which is 6, and this Y, 12. And I put the parentheses so you can see the different ordered pairs. Next, I have 8 for my X, because X is movies, 16. Then I have 10X, 20 is Y. The Y is the songs, like it says here. And last, I have 12, 24. And that is my X and Y. And then later on, you can grid it in the future lesson we're gonna have. All right, so let's go ahead and do the next one. Another example. Okay. Every day after school, Luane, shout out to Luane, eats 3 cookies and 6 Takis. Ugh. Use the table to find out how many cookies and Takis Luane will have eaten after 2 weeks, school day weeks. So it's not, I know that each week has 7 days, but we're talking about school, and that's 5. Let's notice the days. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Oh, 10. So it makes a jump here. So you got to be aware of that. Every time I notice that, I like to make a jump here. You're gonna see why I like to do that. Well, let's see. If it's day 1, it's 3 cookies, 6 Takis. So the same thing, I'm gonna try to find a pattern for the cookies. So I go 3 cookies here on day 2, 6 cookies, saying that every day. So what's happening? You have 3, 6. If every day you're adding 3, so the rule would be to add 3. So this would be 9. And then we add 3. This would be 12. Add 3. This would be 15. I'm not going to add 3 here because this is not a 6. This is not 6 weeks. This is 10 weeks. It made a jump. So we'll get to this in a second. Now let's do the Takis. 6 Takis. It said that he eats them a week or a day. He eats 6 Takis a day. So bags of Takis or individual Takis? Not sure about that. We gotta ask Luane. So we're gonna add 6, which gives us 18, add 6, which gives us 24, add 6, which gives us 30. Let me make this a little smaller so we don't get confused here. Okay. So we have, what is the rule for cookies? For the cookies, I think we're just adding 3 every day. For the Takis, we're adding 6. Okay. But now if you notice here, I need to figure out this number right here. But I can't do it based on the cookies because this is not day 6. I mean, one way you can do it and say, okay, day 6, make a little chart on the side, day 7, day 8, day 9, and then jump over. But we don't want to do that. We kind of want to do it the easier way. Waste our time with that. Let's find the relationship between the days to the cookies. So if it's 1 day, I have 3 cookies. If it's 2 days, I have 6 cookies. If it's 3 days, I have 9 cookies. If it's 4 days, I have 12 cookies. If it's 5 days, I have 15 cookies. So what would be the relationship? Well, let's see. I know my number's getting bigger. I'm going from day to cookie. So I'm either going to add or multiply. If I go 1 plus 2 is 3, okay, that works. 2 plus 2 is, oh, so that rule does not work. Remember, it has to be the same. So 1 times what is going to give me 3? You guessed it, it's 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. Notice how I work for all of them. So then, if I have 10 days, and I multiply by 3, because that's the rule from days to cookies, I'm going to have 30 cookies. And that is my rule. So then it says cookies to Takis. Oh, they want to know the relationship of cookies to Takis. So if I have 3 cookies and 6 Takis, so I'm going from cookies to Takis. 3, it's getting bigger, so I'm either going to multiply or divide, or multiply or add. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, let's see if that works. 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, 9 times 2 is 18. 12 times 2 is 24. 15 times 2 is 30. And let's see if this works. 30 times 2 is 60. So the rule is cookies to Takis to multiply by 2. But what about if I was going from Takis to cookies? I was going backwards. Now I go from 6 to 3, 12 to 6, 18 to 9, 24 to 12, 30 to 15, 60 to 2, 60 to 30. All right. That means my number is getting smaller. Opposite of multiplication is to divide by 2. And that's how we do that. All right, let's move on. Okay. Here, we're going to do the same thing. Trying to find the relationship and the patterns in these numbers. What are the missing numbers? Find the relationship and the rules. Okay, so let's see. I see that I have number of teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10. Oh, do you see how it makes that jump? So I like to make a line here just so I know when I'm doing my relationship and my rule that I don't say, oh, it doesn't work. It didn't work because they jump. So be careful with that. And it also jumps here, but we only do it the first time. I like to keep myself organized. I know that I'm missing A and B, so that's what I have to write here. In your Google Classroom, make sure that A is the number that goes in here, and B is the number that goes in here. So be careful with those. All right, so let's see. If I have one team, I have 15 players and 5 bats. If I have 2 teams, I have 30 players and 10 bats. If I have 3 teams, I have 45 players and 15 bats. If I have 4 teams, 60 players and 20 bats. Okay, let's try to figure out what the rule is between, since I'm missing the players for A, between number of teams to players. I'm going from 1 to 15. Is my number getting bigger or smaller? I have 1 and I want 15. Yes, you are right. My number is getting bigger. Do I add to get 15 or do I multiply to get 15? Well, let's see. I can add 14 and that gives me 15. But remember, the rule has to be the same for all of it. If I add 14, will I get 30? No, I will not. So therefore, that rule does not work. I'm not adding, I'm multiplying. 1 times what is 15? Anything times itself, it's the same number. So 1 times 15 is 15. 2 times 15 is 30. 3 times 15, 45. 4 times 15, 60. 8 times 15, and now, you guessed it, we're gonna have to do some side work. So 15 times 8, what's 8 times 5? 40, you got it. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4, And it is correct. Okay, so my pattern, my rule is working. And so I have 10 here times 15 was 10 times 15. Powers of 10. You guessed it, 150. All right, so now I'm missing B. So I have to find the pattern between the players and the bats. So let's see. I have 15, now I'm going to 5. I have 30, I'm going to 10. I have 45, I'm going to 15. I have 60, I'm going to 20. 120 blank, and 150 to 50. I notice that my number is going down because I need to go from players to bats. So when my number is getting smaller, I either subtract or divide. I can subtract 10 and I'll get 5. But remember, the rule has to be the same. So if I subtract 10 here, will I get 10? No, I will not. So therefore, that minus 10 is not going to work, so I know it's division. 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. And we know that, we know our basic facts, that 5 times 3 is 15. 30 divided by 3 is 10, that works. 45 divided by 3 is 15. 60 divided by 3, remember powers of 10 is 20. 120 divided by 3, so we dropped to 0, was 12 divided by 3. Ask yourself, what times 3 is 12? 40. And then 150 divided by 3 is 50. So B would be 40. So in your Google Classroom, A will be 150, B will be 40. All right, let's move on and do another one. This one, instead of baseball bats, it's X and Y coordinates. X and Y coordinates are listed below. The rule for X is to add 10. Complete the table. What is the relationship between X and Y? Okay, so they give you the rule for X. So let's see, so X is add 10. So if I have 10, I'm gonna add 10, and then I have 20. I add 10, because that's the rule, that's what they said, then it's going to be 30. I add 10, and it's going to be 40. I do not add 10, because what do you notice here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Remember that jump I was talking about? So go ahead and make a line there, so you just know about the jump. And then we'll hold off. Let's see. It says, what is the relationship of X and Y? Okay, so we're going from X to Y. I have 10 here, now I have 5. I have 20 here, now I have 10. I have 30 here, now I have 15. 40 here, blank. So what would it be? If I'm getting smaller, I can subtract or divide. 10 minus 5 is 5, that works. 20 minus 5 does not work, so it has to be division. 10 divided by what gives you 5? 10 divided by 2 gives you 5. 20 divided by 2 gives you 10. 30 divided by 2 gives you 15. 40 divided by 2 gives you 20. All right, but now we're back over here. Oh wait, so let's answer this question. What is the relationship of X to Y? To divide by 2. Good. Now we got to go back here. So I know that whatever I have in here, I have to divide by 2 to get it. Well, let's see. We have to find the relationship between these numbers and the X at the top. So let's go back over here. 1 times or add equals 10. 2 and 20, 3 and 30, 4 and 40. I think if we know our powers of 10, I think this is simple for you. You know that it's times 10. 1 times 10 is 10. 2 times 10 is 20. 3 times 10 is 30. 4 times 10 is 40. And 7 times 10, since they all worked out, it's the same rule, would be 70. Then we go back over here. 70 divided by 2. You might need to do some side work. let's see, I'm gonna use 30. 30 times 2 is 60. 2 times 5 is 10. Add my partial quotient, which is 35. So in your Google Classroom, you're gonna write 20 and 35. Or click it. And then they want you to list the coordinates. So like we did earlier, X and Y are right here. So X goes first, Y, we have 10, 5. I have 20 and 10. I have 30 and 15. I have 40 and 20. And I have 70 and 35 as my X and Y coordinates. For your independent, you're going to be doing the same thing, but all I want in your Google Classroom is just the A and the B. Make sure that you're finding the relationship of X, and it tells you right here what the rule is. Please make sure you're reading. Same thing for your homework. You're doing the exact same thing. Here there's 3, A, B, C. So instead of just finding A and B, I want you to find C as well. All right? Let me know if you have any questions.